Okay, so flex him a little more to the right. Do you know the action of the rein that asks him to flex to the right? Do you know it? What is it?
Turning the key.
Awesome.
Fingers up.
Yes. Yeah. And now after you've flexed him to the right, put a loop in that right rein. Put your right hand forward. Good. Okay. So here's what I saw when you first started. When you went to the right, come over here for a second. When you went to the right, he was not positioned at his pole enough to the right. He needed more positioning to the right. Now you have to be careful with a horse like this because he already wants to close too much in the throat latch. I see a little break at the third vertebrae. So it's very important. That's why I asked you, and you can do this from the ground as well to loosen his pole. It's very important that your fingers are already closed on the rein, and there's two actions. One is to pretend you're unlocking a door, and the other is to bring your baby finger close to the withers but not to cross over. That's why it's called indirect rein. That action flexes him at the pole either to the right or to the left. He needs more flexion at the pole to the right, but you need to be sure you don't wiggle, wiggle, wiggle on the rein, because all that's going to do is have him flex at the throat latch, because horses can flex three ways: right, left, in. But there's different actions. So this is for right flexion, this is for left flexion, this is for in. He's already wanting to be too broken here and too in with a bend there. So the first thing I saw is that when you're tracking to the right, he does not always have what we call positioning, enough positioning to the right. And I was pleasantly surprised that after you did ask him to flex to the right, I was expecting when you looped the right rein, boing, he would go back into this kind of neutral position with his chin in front of the middle crease of his chest, but he didn't. He stayed through his pole on the right side, and that's great. So just like we have tests of connection, not only do we want to do the exercise that supples the pole, and in his case to the right, although it doesn't hurt to supple the pole to the left, we also want to test that throughness by putting the loop in the rein. And if he holds that position, it's not neck bend, it's just at the pole, if he holds that position without any contact on the rein for a couple of strides, and you can still see his right eye and right nostril, then he's through the pole. So that's the first thing that I saw, besides your position stuff, is that he needs to be more supple here, but you have to do it very carefully so that you don't break him at the throat latch and contribute to him having that broken neck. The other thing I saw when you change direction, and I thought, well, I wonder if he'll sort this out once you get going in the other direction, is that when you track, get my rights and lefts mixed up, straight here. When you were tracking to the left, his shoulders were out to the right. You can feel that. Yeah. So his shoulders are not between the reins, and if his shoulders are not between the reins, you cannot honestly connect him. And if you think about your training scale, straightness comes before collection. Right. You know, you want to develop a medium gait, he has to be in an uphill balance. He can't be collected if he's not straight. So in the same way that we have, the language is very, very clear. This means flex at the pole. This means flex at the jaw. The action of the rein that controls the position of the shoulders, if you think left shoulder in, right shoulder in, is to take the two arms and use them as a unit to lead the shoulders to the left or to the right. So he has a little bit of lack of suppleness in his crookedness, where he likes to live with his shoulders out to the right. So we need to develop his ability to slide his shoulders to the left. And the only way that we can develop his suppleness to mobilize his shoulders and move them to the left is to do things that move his shoulders. So just go to the left again for a second in the walk, and you are going to flex him to the right with that turn of the right wrist, and you're going to make like an 18 or a 20 meter box. Now that is not flexion. That is right neck bend. Flexion is just at the pole. So when you ask for right flexion, atta girl, you need to have a marriage between your inner and outer rein. The right hand asks to flex at the pole, but the left hand, that's better. Yeah. You're almost there. You still have his neck a hair too bent to the right. So a little bit more supporting left hand. Yeah, you need to find the marriage of the aids that allows the neck to be straight as this fence. If you were to halt on the fence, his neck would be absolutely parallel to that, girl, to the fence, and that's the responsibility of your left hand, but you see the right eye. Very good. Now, the only thing that I want to fix with that is to shorten the reins so that your hands are in what's called the work area, right over the withers. Anytime the hands are behind the work area, beautiful. I love this. You're stealing power from the hind legs. You want to have the hands over the withers in the work area and then ride the hind legs up to the hand, and then the hand, when the hind legs meet the hand can recycle that energy back to the hind legs. If your hands come behind the withers, you're stealing power from the hind legs. So now you're going to do a box, 2 arms to the left in each of the corners. Sorry, I should have told you that earlier, but that was quite well done. And then absolutely parallel to the rail in right flexion, 2 arms to the left, yeah, and then soften. Can you feel how it took a little, the weight of the rein increased when you turned him around the corner, and it increased there again, which is normal. Don't let him go sideways with the hind legs. We're just turning the shoulders around the corner. So your leg is not involved in this exercise at all. We're isolating, good girl, we're isolating the shoulder region of the horse. So it's not a leg thing. It's first the flexion to the right with a straight neck, then 2 arms to the left. Perfect. Now that looked like there was a little less increase in the weight of rein. 2 arms to the left, keep your left thumb up and soften. And that resistance is just that he's telling you, man, it's hard for me to slide my shoulders to the left because they like to live to the right. And soften. Yep, good. And tell me when it feels like you can just swivel him around the corner, like there, and there's no increase in the weight of rein. That's beautiful there. Yeah, that's all right. Turn him back to the left. Flex him right. Shorten the reins. Get them back in the work area. Open the left rein, indirect right rein, and soften. Good. Follow with your arms. Just because you're doing 2 different rein actions with your right wrist and your 2 arms doesn't mean that the arms stop following because you're in walk. Good, good. Does it feel like you can swing his shoulders around that corner a little better? Yeah. So you can make your box a little bit bigger if you want, but I want the same thing. Let me see this corner. I can still feel it a little bit hard. And, you know, I don't expect it to be perfect today, Karen, but I want you to have exercises to go home and do. There, the neck is too bent. You had more than right flexion at the pole. You had right neck bend, which just throws him on his left shoulder. We want those shoulders lying, yes, ma'am, softly between the 2 reins. Good. So there's no extra weight on the right rein. There's no extra weight on the left rein. The shoulders just live softly between the 2 reins. Yes, yes, tell him, good boy, soften. You feel how nice that was? Same thing in the trot. And at home, you could do